What is good, YouTube? Quinway basketball analysis coming to y'all with my game one reactions for the other series. Obviously, Memphis Grizzlies did do exactly what they needed to do. They came in and caught the vulnerable Utah Jazz in a slump. They got off to a hot start, hit a lot of threes, made a lot of plays, but the Grizzlies was relentless and they kept coming and coming and coming and they climbed back in it, took the lead, and it was a battle, but they was able to increase it. And Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and those guys stood together. They weathered the storm and they made some big plays and some big shots, just like they did to get into the playoffs. This team has been respectable for a while now, and you have to come out there with your A game. They're not going to quit. They're not going to give up, and they are coached right, and they defend at a high level. And even though a lot of their guys foul a lot or take a lot of gambles or ain't the most disciplined, they're gonna stay and grind it out. You know, they might not be the grit and grind Grizzlies, but they have some of that DNA in a lot of their players and how they play. This team can go on funks. They can miss a lot of shots, and that's how Utah got off to a hot start. But if you don't keep the pedal to the metal, they can come back in, or they can come and make a run, and they can grind out a W. You know, Ja Morant has shown that he can control big moments and make big plays or shots. Same with Dylan Brooks and some of these other guys. Utah try to make the late surge to steal the game, a veteran move, but it's the playoffs. You got to bring your A game. Jordan Clarkson is the sixth man of the year, just like I thought he should be. Didn't play that well. You know, he was a big reason why Utah didn't come away with the W. Mike Conley missed a lot of shots that could have gave them the lead or could have helped them get a cushion to secure the W. He didn't come through the way he needed to. Gobert got in foul trouble, wasn't dominant enough without Donovan Mitchell. These guys have to step up and play bigger, have to play better, and they didn't. And that's why I feel like Memphis should try to steal as many games as they can to help them win this series ultimately. And this is a game where they could have lost it and they should have won it, but they was able to pull it out and get it done. And that's what helped you win series that you are supposed to lose. And Donovan Mitchell wasn't happy. He wasn't pleased, and he felt like he can give it a go and play against them in game two. I think that they need to get urgency from them because you don't want to play around. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're down 0-2 possibly, and now you have to win 4 out of 7. So that's going to be tough. And we don't know what Donovan Mitchell going to be. We don't know if he's going to be the same, worse, a little worse, 85%, 65%. But as long as he's aggressive and attacking, it puts a lot of pressure on the Memphis defense. Best part about them, they got solid perimeter defenders. Only bad part, they foul a lot. And Donovan Mitchell is a guy that comes at you. So you have to watch that if you're a Memphis fan. But we just don't know what Donovan Mitchell's going to bring. We just don't know what he's going to be. And Memphis could possibly win another game and put pressure on the Jazz. Not only did they take home court advantage by winning game one, it put pressures on the Jazz to win game two and try to take command of the series by going up 2-1 in Memphis. Other than that, we can talk about the Knicks and the Hawks. This is a highly anticipated series. A lot of people just don't know who they're going to go with or who should win it. Well, the Hawks did exactly what I thought. They got hot, they went cold, and got hot at the right time. And that's the biggest problem with the Knicks. The Knicks don't have a lot of guys that you can rely on, especially from the perimeter, and they don't have guys that can really dominate a game outside of Julius Randle, who didn't have a dominant game. He kept them in. He made some plays with assists and some shots, but he wasn't that All NBA third team player that he has shown the couple weeks coming into this series. And that was my question. If Derrick Rose and Julius Randle have an off game or they can't make shots, this team crumbles. RJ Barrett couldn't make enough threes, couldn't make enough shots. They relied a lot on Alec Burke, which isn't a bad thing, but it isn't an amazing thing either. But this is what they have, and that's why I picked them to lose. They just don't have enough offense to weather enough of the storm of the Hawks. Trae Young took over the fourth quarter, kept them in foul trouble. continue to probe, continue to find and trust in his guys. Big shot by Reddish, big shots by Bogdanovich, and that's why I ultimately thought that they'll win this series. They have multiple guys that can make plays, but multiple guys that can make shots. John Collins was shooting threes. Clint Capella was grabbing boards and finishing around the rim. And Trae Young, they have nobody that can guard him. This guy was splitting the defense up, hitting the mid-range jumpers, popping the floaters, picking apart the defense, and knocking down his free throws. And he was the all-star. They both are all-star caliber players. They both were projected to be franchise-type pillars. And Trae Young won game one. And the best part about it is they went into New York when that thing was going crazy. And the momentum was going with New York, and they had the lead in the fourth quarter, and they made a run to tie it up, and it looked like New York was going to go home with the W. But Trae Young was able to get to his spot, which is blow past guys that was supposed to trap and get the ball out of his hands. Instead, they gave him an ability to dribble and get past them and get an open shot, which didn't really matter because even they was going to have to come all the way up and leave somebody open, or they was going to have to concede it to Trae Young. The worst part about it is Trae Young was killing them with that floater from that same spot the entire game. Other than that, the keys to watch for in this series is shooting. If the Hawks can knock down their threes and they can take less of the tough jumpers, they can win this series easy. If they continue to mix the good and the bad with the jump shooting, it gives the Knicks a chance to slow it down or attack and get themselves enough buckets to where they defense can allow them to get a tough W. I just don't think it's enough games for them to be able to do it. I don't think the Hawks are going to lose 4 games because they couldn't shoot enough shots. They have the better players, they have the better shooters. They should be able to win this series. The Knicks are just more feisty. They're more gritty. They more beat you up. But this is a make or miss league. Guys have to make shots. Guys have to make plays so guys can get open shots. And the Hawks have more people that's capable of knocking them down or getting them. And that's why ultimately picked them to win the series. And that's why they was able to go down on that run. Trae Young either scored or assisted. His guys made shots. He made shots. The Knicks couldn't do it consistently enough, and that's why they fell short. You also got to think about the Bucks absolutely annihilating the Miami Heat. It looked like the Heat really wanted to come out and prove a point. The Bucks smacked them right away. Bryn Forbes hits 5 threes. Just absolutely confident. Absolutely knew that they was going in before he even let them go, and they was all in. Middleton hit a couple. They grinded some shots. Giannis came out aggressive, finishing around the paint and playing good switching defense. We know the Bucks can guard them. We know they have the perimeter defenders to give Hero, Butler, and Duncan Robinson trouble. Bam hasn't been the same Bam. He can't make the floaters. He can't make the jumpers. He just don't look like himself. Jimmy Butler is taking more shots, but he's not knocking them down nowhere near where he needs to, and he's not coming at guys. He's thinking and doing too much hesitation. Last year, he was coming at guys looking to get a foul or looking to knock down a shot and get the foul or just make the right play by being aggressive. Now he's kind of hesitant. Now he's kind of thinking a little bit too much and not letting the game come to him. And Bam just not making easy opportunities and not being aggressive on mismatches. And even when he does, he's not converting them at a high enough level. And that's how it's been the crumble. You're going to get streaky shooting from Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. That's what they have been the entire year. And that's what they have been in this series so far. Goran Dragic has not been the same presence that he was last year in the playoffs. He was a little beat up and injured this year, and it's showing right now. That's why I picked the Bucks to win. Drew Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis is better than the Heat big three. They are longer, they are bigger, and they have more tools in the bag, and they're more proven when it comes to what they can do and how good they can be in those pressure moments. They was able to steal game one, which was up for grabs, and they was able to dominate game two. I told you this game is going to be decided by the others. Bryn Forbes and those guys stepped up. Miami Heat, their stars and they others didn't step up at all. And now the Bucks find themselves as the first team to go up 2-0, looking good, looking great, and that's why I picked them to win this series. And they have already picked up the first two games, and we'll see if they'll be able to repeat it in three. Only reason why I say that, Miami will be at home. Miami got disrespected. Miami felt like they could have stole game one, and now they find themselves in a must-win game three. If not, this series could be over quicker than we all thought. Even though I did think the Bucks was the better team, they have shown that in game two. And they showed that even at their worst, they still on the same level as the Heat in game one. And they can switch and defend a lot of their guys. That's why I liked the Drew Holiday trade and the trades for PJ Tucker. Gave them more spacing, gave them more switchable defenders, and gave them more pieces that fit around Giannis better than what they had the last couple years. And now they should be able to go further in the playoffs if they play well and play together, defend, and knock down their threes. If they do that, this team can go far. If they hot and cold like they've been throughout the season against the better teams, then they might go home earlier than what the fans want. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the analysis. I'll be back tomorrow with coverage of obviously the Portland Denver game and the game, one of tomorrow, and then I'll cover the other ones. Other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball announcer, sign out. Let me know what I got wrong, what I got right, what you agree or disagree with, who you think gonna win the series. Is it time to overreact for Memphis? Is it time to overreact for the Knicks and the Hawks? Will they tie the series up, or will the Bucks just sweep the Heat? Is this the same Heat? Is this a different Heat? Is the Heat done? Whatever you feel, let me know in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone, and I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow. This is why you gotta go all in every year if you're trying to win a title. It's not easy. The Heat looked like they was gonna be going to the finals last year, had a chance to repeat that action, and now they could be out in the first round. The Bucks went to the conference finals, got put out in the second round, and they ain't been back since. It's not easy winning the playoffs. Not easy winning the championship. Both of these teams came in a reality. A lot of these young teams are showing that they're strong, like Phoenix and obviously the Hawks and the Grizzlies. And you know these teams was teams that we questioned with experience and with growth. It will be tested in a game twos. I'll be back tomorrow to see what happens. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm going.